According to who?
Right,
according to who?
Right, okay, and you just...
So I'm just trying to find evidence that doesn't support that claim. That's how. You can't just take people's words at face value.
Well, you just done that.
You're not looking for
evidence.
No, but
You're not looking for evidence. You're just looking for a statement.
You've just said you have a problem with people saying things and taking their face. No,
so I should just take his word at face value.
No, 1 second. No, not at all. You just said you have a problem with saying things and how people have to take it at face value, and then you just said something that we have to take at face value. All we said was support what you're saying. Be consistent.
Okay. Okay.
That's all we're saying. Be consistent.
But
if you look at experts,
the thing is, well, last time I had a talk to you, I had examples of all the miracles that are in the Quran. So things like fingerprints were prophesied in the Quran, but fingerprints were being used. Not the fingerprints were prophesied. The fact that people will use fingerprints in the future to work out who's committed crimes. You told me that it's on camera.
I said we will resurrect you. That talks about that even your fingertips to the tips of your fingers. Allah says we will resurrect you.
Highlighting the idea you can be identified through your fingerprints.
It's on camera.
At that time, people didn't know this notion of what is fingertip. What is this?
Why would the Quran say fingertips?
But it's in later generations we found out that the complexity.
Yeah. So fingerprints. Fingertips. So fingerprints. Yeah.
Well,
but the thing is, fingerprints were being used in 600 years before Jesus was born. People were using them to mark pottery as their signature. So if people were using it 600 years, then the Quran didn't prophesize anything about fingerprints.
Distinguish the difference between your fingerprint and my fingerprint.
That people were using their fingerprint as their signature on pottery 600 years before Jesus was born.
Could they differentiate your fingerprint from my fingerprint?
Of course they could. They look different.
No, they couldn't.
Of course they could.
Wow.
Why would they use it as their fingerprint?
How would they know it's your
Why
fingerprint?
would they use it as their signature?
How would they know it's your fingerprint?
Because you'd look at it.
How would you know? How would I know?
Because you can look at two things together.
You're in your pot. Okay, what's You're in Warsaw on your potter's wheel, yeah? And you make this pot and you have a fingerprint, and it comes to France. And this is what's your name?
Lister.
This was made by the famous pottery Lister. And how do we know? Look, it's fingerprint.
Okay.
How would I know in France that's your fingerprint?
But people would use it. So
why would they use it?
Because
did they have a database of fingerprints so we know who's
Hold on. People in France wouldn't have been getting pottery from Arabia 600 years before Jesus.
And it's Arabia. It's Warsaw.
Warsaw. Poland. 600 years before. People weren't travelling those distances.
The question was fingerprints.
No, but the thing is, in the local community where you might have two potters, then you'd be able to differentiate between those two. It's not on a global scale. There's no globalism.
What I need to know.
Now we know global.
Let's imagine you make a pot, right? And I go to a pottery shop in your town, and I look at this pot, right? And they say it's made by Lister, you said?
Lister, yeah.
Lister. Okay, this pot's made by the famous potter Lister, right? And I go, well, how can I be sure? Well, there's his fingerprint.
Okay, can I just
So here we go. Well, that's like art dealing now. People sign it. How am I supposed to know that's his signature? But people recognise the signature.
Okay,
art dealers and things. And then, come on, you're just being facetious.
A signature is identifying yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're never the same. But a fingerprint is always the same.
No, but but you don't know who that fingerprint is.
Yeah, but you would, an art dealer, if you're dealing in art, you'd learn what that signature is, and that signature would look a certain way.
We both like using.
But I think you got a deeper problem that we'll deal with.
In 1892, Alvarez and Galton at Buenos Aires, Argentina. In 1892, Inspector
First criminal fingerprint
Eduardo made the first fingerprint identification.
In 1892.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
Well, you were talking 600 years.
So when the Quran talks about we will resurrect you and recreate you even down to your fingertips, okay, it has a scope of meaning. But however, you cannot claim that 600 years before the Quran they were using fingerprints to identify individuals.
For pottery, they were. That is absolutely true.
We just said in 1892 was the first time someone was identified by their fingerprint.
That might be a finger print, not the fingerprint. Do you understand my
No,
point?
but this is to actually criminally convict someone we're talking about, which has to go by the
Show me his fingerprint. Show me this Polish
fruit.
Can I make a point? Quran is talking about the importance of fingertip. Now we know
The significance
how
of it.
the significance.
I'm sorry, but
Do you get the point?
It's a very vague sentence.
No, it's not.
It is a vague sentence.
It's vague if you wish it to be vague, but
No,
let's just-
it
let's
has
try and-
meaning if you wish it to have meaning.
No,
Anyway,
okay.
I don't want to get sidetracked. I want to just go back to this discussion.
Well, we can kill two stones with one bird. We can kill two stones with one bird. Well, seriously, we can kill two stones with one bird here.
Because God is
this
saying, I
guy
will bring
is
you
making the same claim.
same way you are even the tips of your
And he might be
finger.
brave enough to take on the claim.
Individually, I will bring you up with the same fingertips. It was the importance that Allah was trying to show us, and now we know in the 21st century that how every fingertip is
It's
unique.
different. Unique.
I'm sorry, but that is such a vague. That's not proof of anything.
No, but
It's
it
like-
makes sense.
Okay, no,
It's logic.
I think
logic.
Here's the problem you've come with. Yeah?
Simple, accept
You've
it.
come with a
Logic.
straw man argument. To be honest,
What's the straw man argument?
straw man. You're responding to something we haven't said.
No, I'm responding to something that was said.
Well, he said no. He didn't say that. So you're trying to make a response to something we're not even talking about.
No, it's on video where he said.
And then you're saying this isn't proof of anything, and we never said it was proof of anything. So you've interrupted the conversation, bringing in a whole red herring and a whole straw man argument, and I don't understand why. But no,
Sorry then, I'll let you
no. Allah's the best of planners, and I think this guy's afraid because he knows what's coming. And so at the same time, the way we'll deal with you, he'll hear his answer at the same time. Yeah. So your claim, I'm assuming, is that Mohammed made up the religion.
I'm not saying he made it up.
He didn't make it up.
No, he could have made it up. You don't know that he didn't.
What's your claim then?
I'm saying he could have, or he could have been hallucinating on certain drugs.
So
like I think Moses probably was, and he.
All the
think-
prophets were junkies.
Oh, no.
And they were consistent.
There's nothing wrong with using drugs, I don't think,
gonna sound a little bit
for certain things.
Okay.
Cannabis treats certain cancers these days.
Let's do logic here. Can we do logic?
I love logic.
Alhamdulillah, you're in the right place. Okay. Do you accept there's only 4 variables of what Muhammad could have been with regards to this matter?
Yeah, probably about 4, yes. And
There's a 5th variable, and I'll allow it, I don't mind. First variable is he's a liar, and he's making up the religion. And he didn't have a visitation from any angels, and he's just creating the religion. He's got some books from the Jews and the Christians, and this is what he loves this. And he's put it all together. He's found a little bit of science that kind of makes sense, a bit of, that gives it a little bit of...
so you accept that's a possibility?
Yeah. I'm doing that. No problem.
Okay, cool.
Because what we're dealing here is logic. Yeah, we're like deductive logic. So we're doing the Sherlock Holmes, isn't it? When you eliminate the impossible, whatever's left, no matter how improbable, has to be the truth. Okay. So one, he's a liar, which means there is no angel, and he's not a prophet of God, and he's making it all up for whatever motive he's doing it for. Job done. Agreed? That's one variable. Okay. Variable number 2. He's mentally disturbed. He's having visions because he's been in the cave for so long, and he starts thinking he's seeing an angel, and he thinks he's being visited by an angel and getting revelation from God, when in fact it's all in his head. Yeah, which would not make him a liar.
And I think that's even more probable than his version.
Well, you're going to have to choose one anyway, so don't worry.
No, because I don't believe
No,
in
listen,
belief. There's no point in choosing something that
You know what was said? Yeah?
So there's no point in choosing something if you don't know what is 100% fact.
Well, no,
There's lots of
that's not how it works.
possibilities.
That's not how it works.
What do you mean?
Belief doesn't work
That's
that
what
way.
you guys have done by
No.
put all your
Belief
things in the
doesn't work
hat.
that way. Belief doesn't work the way you think it works.
A lot of you will be playing Pascal's wager. Like,
No, Pascal's wages between different sects of Christians have nothing to do with Muslims.
no, there would be the sense of Pascal's wager in all religions.
No, but the Pascal's wager was to
Like,
do
I
with,
may as well believe just in case.
no, Pascal's wager was with regards to interfaith Christianity, Catholicism and Protestantism.
Oh yeah, of course. Pascal's wager
It
was
doesn't work. It doesn't work when you
originated
bring
in,
Islam in it, because then you've got a problem of 3 different ones. Because are the Catholics right? The Protestants right? Are the Muslims right?
Anyway, what was the other 2?
Well, that's what I'm saying to you. So the second one is the delusional. The third one, he's the angel is really a demon, pretending to be an angel. Yeah, and he thinks he's getting revelation from God when in fact he's getting a revelation from a demon. and then Islam then comes out of a demon.
I mean, that's probably the least likely. I'd go with
No,
that.
these are variables, yeah?
No, I know, but that's least likely, I'd
The
say.
fourth variable, he never existed. There was no such man as Mohammed. He was invented in history to create this religion.
I think that's very unlikely. Fifth variable is what he's saying is true.
Allahu Akbar. So we've got 5 variables, yeah?
Yeah, I think all of them are possible.
And do you accept that choosing one variable eliminates all the other 4?
By the way, I have had.
Choose. Yeah, but you can't just arbitrarily choose one.
No, you have.
No, I've not. I've said all of them are possible.
No, but they can't all be possible.
Why can't they all?
Do you accept if he's a liar, then he wasn't delusional, wasn't deceived by
No,
demon,
because but nobody knows.
No.
Nobody
No,
knows
no.
at the moment. So at the moment, they're all.
I can
possible.
see you need the belief talk.
No, obviously one is true,
Right.
but all of them are possible
Just
because
listen.
nobody knows yet.
Just listen. We'll get there, don't worry. But do you accept that if he's a liar, then he can't be delusional, can't be deceived by demon, can't be telling the truth, and obviously he must have existed. So you have to eliminate the other 4. Would you agree?
In other words, if you prove one of them, the other 4.
The other 4 are
Okay,
different.
so where's the proof for one of them?
Allahu Akbar.
Everything we buy, everything we wear, everything
I have to do the belief thing. Just put Lister on so he knows what we're talking, because we want to be talking logically. How do you understand the term belief? Just so I understand what page you're on.
A belief is something that you think to be true without being 100% sure.
and it will be good for
Right, and can a belief
You have faith in something to be true.
and can a belief be true without proof?
It could be, but it doesn't. But just because you believe it doesn't mean it is true.
No, but you could believe it and it could be true.
Yeah. So like, if I was to say I believe the Earth is round and it is round, then of course.
Or just say you believe your father's your father, yeah?
Well, I'm not like. I mean, our similarities are so
No,
that I think it is true.
That wasn't my question.
But 99%.
That wasn't my question. Do you believe your father's your father or not?
He most likely is.
No, I didn't
yeah.
ask the question. I said, do you believe he is or not?
Direct question, direct
I didn't say,
answer.
do you know he's your father? I said,
Yeah.
do you believe he's your father?
I believe he is.
You believe he is. Why?
We've got the same hairline.
Right. Same hairline. Maybe your mum wasn't a player. Yeah?
Yeah. There's
Family
no doubt in my.
testimony.
In fact, there's no doubt in my mind that he's my father, just because we are so similar.
But you have no proof.
I mean, we could get proof by DNA.
No, but you've got none right now.
No, I don't.
But you believe he's your father.
I mean, if you saw us together, you'd be like, yeah,
No,
that's,
but right
that's
now,
proof.
no, right now you believe he's your father.
Yes.
Without proof.
Yes.
Right. So you don't need proof for a belief to be true.
It's almost 100% proven.
It doesn't
now.
matter. It's not true proof. So therefore, you don't have no proof he's your father,
Okay.
but you believe he is, which is not a problem.
Okay.
So what this does prove, effectively, objectively, I believe can be true without proof. Yeah?
Yes, but